today? Okay. Okay, how is everybody today? I hope you're all doing good. This is Teresa with Junk Collector Junkie. I haven't done a live in quite a while. I'm working on, we're still getting orders, so I am working on a couple of orders. So what I'm going to do, and I don't have anything here to show you, because I sold them all, is I'm going to do some, oh, this does not want to tear. Great. Let's see if I can get it to tear. I'm going to do, well, that's not going to work. I'm going to do some candy cane pears. They've been selling for me on Etsy pretty well. So I do need to do those, but I don't have the right fabric here. What are you doing, Gigi? All right. I'm going to apologize. I have to run and get some different fabric because evidently I got the wrong stuff. Okay, I apologize. I'm back. Sorry, I got the wrong fabric. Let's just hope this will rip, because otherwise I'm in big trouble. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm doing candy cane pears. And what it is I take 2 candy canes and I put them together. These are already wrapped with some batting. But I've been selling them on Etsy quite a bit. We actually sell a lot of these candy canes. These I sell individually, but what I'll do is I'll take the candy canes and I'll glue them, I'll wrap them, I'll glue them together like that, and then I put greenery and some other stuff on them in the middle, a bow, some cheesecloth, a couple of beads, or not beads, some other things on it, and we sell a lot of them on Etsy. I've been quite pleased with what we've been selling on Etsy. Our Etsy is up a lot this year. I think it's 70-some%, which is quite a bit over last year. So anyway, so I'm going to get right into it, and I'm going to try to save this video because since this is a live, Facebook will delete it after 30 days. So we haven't done a live for a little while. These are the plastic candy canes I'm going to be using. I get these off of Amazon, but they're kind of thin. So that's why I wrap it with something like Warm and Natural, or this is it's a thicker muslin type. It's got a weave in it. You can see the weave. to give it a little depth, and then I wrap it with the fabric I'm going to use, because I think these are kind of skinny. So I haven't done a live in a while. I thought I had my crap all together, and I didn't. So now some people start up here for their candy canes. I'm going to start down here. Some people put a piece of fabric over the ends. I don't do that because I kind of think, to me, it makes it kind of bulky, but that just may be that I'm just not doing it right. So I use a glue gun, and I will wrap it, and I'll put it like at an angle. And then I'll bring this piece over, so it gets it in the glue, and then I've got this piece up here that I'm going to tuck in. Tuck that in, and then I'm ready to wrap. And so I'm going to wrap it at an angle so that I can wrap down. You see that? I'm wrapping down at an angle. And it's thickening up my plastic candy cane. I actually, this is actually not too bad to work with. Sometimes that other stuff can be kind of bulky, and then it kind of catches, and then when I go around the corner, of course, I try to pull it as tight as I can. Excuse me. Must be something in the air because I've been coughing lately. But it's like it's like 70 some degrees here today in Central Texas. I'm in Central Texas now. We moved from Nebraska to Central Texas about 3.5 years ago, almost 4. We like the weather. I miss my customers and my friends in Nebraska, but I like the weather here. So, no 20 below zero, no snow. And so now I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut it at an angle. So I have this angle cut right there, if you can see that. And then I'm going to glue that. So this, because this underneath thing is going to be underneath, it's not as important for that to be, just so long as you kind of get it over that end. So we got some strings here, not worried about those. Those will be covered up with the other fabric. Some people will take their strip of fabric and they'll start and they'll just run it as a strip of it. But I'm using ticking for this order, and I'm using this checker for, she ordered one of each. And so I like to cover the whole thing with the fabric that I'm doing. So I have to do 4 for each, or 2 for each one, so I have to do 4. I'm going to get another strip of this. This is, I got this, I know, I'm pretty sure I got this at Walmart. It's in the pre-packaged stuff. A lot like our little Walmart in Hillsboro, which is off of I-35 there north of Waco. They do not have a cutting table anymore. Do you guys have cutting tables at your Walmarts if you go to Walmart? I think the one in Cleburne, the last time that I got material in Cleburne, there was still a cutting table, but most of their stuff was pre-packaged. Next time we go to Cleburne, which is north of here, it's a bigger town. It's closer to Fort Worth. I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to see if I can, if they have the cutting table. The ticking, I use a lot of ticking throughout the year, and because of our, we did really well at our shows this year. Our shows were up 64% over last year. I'll have to go back and double check. But we had some good shows this year. Our best show was Vintage Market Days of South Central Texas. If any of you are familiar with Vintage Market Days, it's a franchise show. We first started doing them when they opened the franchise in Omaha with Chelsea and Derek. They were the original owners of the Omaha one. And we always enjoyed that one. We enjoyed they were very, very good owners. And then Anna and Lois were the second owners. And they were also, very, very good. Those were our best shows. Those are the best shows we've ever had. Of course, that was our customer base. So fortunately, we had great customers. We still have great customers. We are building a following here in Texas, and we're very grateful for the people who are following us and who like our page. And also, they follow us to our shows, and they've been just wonderful. So we've been very grateful for that. And we are glad we've been, doing some different things, but some similar things. And we've had really, really good response at our shows. So we've been very pleased with that. We did not take these double candy canes to our show. But we did take the single ones, and they sold really well. All right, so I got 2 done. These 2 I'll save. So this just adds, like I said, this adds just a little bit of thickness to our product. Because, like I said, these are too skinny for me. I don't like the skinniness of them. That's why I add a layer first before I put my color on. And we're just, like I said, we're just using this fabric. I don't even know what it's called. Maybe it's a duck cloth of some kind. It's a more rustic kind of, and like I said, the threads aren't going to matter because we're going to be covering that with our ticking and our checker cloth. So all I'm doing is I'm just pulling it down and going around. When we come around this edge, we kind of have to pull it a little bit because, it's going to gap a little. So we want to kind of pull it. And I come around to the top. This is just going to give us a little body to our pieces. So then I'm cutting it at an angle. So I'm cutting it at an angle. So you can see that's an angle. And then I'm gonna, so we have to do two for each set. So we have 2 Yorkies now. We have Gigi, that we've had Gigi for, it'll be 2 years in March. We got her when she was almost 7 months old from somebody who did not have the time for her because they were working and traveling. So, and she is her own person, and we love her to death. She's a very independent dog that knows what she wants. And then we had to put Mr. Stubby down Mr. Stubby was our boxer Yorkie cross. He was 11. We had him in Nebraska. We had his dad and his mom. His mom was a Yorkie. When I got her, I did not realize she was in heat. The boxer was a male. And so we, of course, did a C-section. And I had her spayed then. And Mr. Stubby was stubby. He was short, but he had a longer body. He had the brindle coloring of his dad with the sable base. But he had Yorkie, kind of Yorkie fur. So we did have to have him groomed. He was a very stocky dog. I mean, his muscles had weight to them. He was very muscular. He was a good dog. He was a good dog. And Kuda, who was the boxer, was my middle son's dog. And we got him, ouch. And he was a good dog too. All right, so now I have my 4 pieces. Now I've ripped my ticking. And I try to rip my ticking. When I rip it, I try to rip it so that I have 2 stripes. And this is, I don't have a measuring tape here. This is probably, I don't think it's quite an inch wide. I think it might be like maybe 3/4 of an inch. This is rustic, so I'm not as worried about the edges. I don't know if I'll have enough of that to do. One or 2. I thought I brought more pieces in here. Well, we're going to see how far we get. You know what? We'll do this one because I want to show you how I do them. And I know I have enough of this. So I'm going to rip this about 3/4 of an inch. I'm using the homespun fabric, which I like. I know a lot of creators have been getting some of their fabric off fabric.com, not fabric.com, jubileefabrics.com. And I went to check their website because Walmart is, of course, not carrying the homespun fabric anymore, and I do like it. Hobby Lobby does have some, but they don't have as much as I'd like to see either. So Jubilee Fabrics is a little pricier, but they have some really cute fabrics. So I'm going to check. A lot of the ones that I wanted, they were out of stock on. So I'll wait until they restock and then I'll get some. So like I said before, I start at the bottom. Some people start at the top where the curve is. I start at the bottom. I'm not worried about these strings because they'll be covered up. So I'm going to put my glue all around the top and along there, because I'm going to take my fabric and I'm going to angle it so that it's angled and over the top. Ouch. I'm going to bring it around. And I want to cover up that end. I think I'm just going to glue that down real quick. So, see, I have that. And then we are going to wrap it by pulling downward. So we're pulling down and we're wrapping as we go. And because this rips and it's curling where it ripped, it's kind of, I'm not gonna undo that. I'm gonna leave it because it's making it have more of a clean end. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm just kind of wrapping and running this at an angle slightly above the edge of the piece above it. So I'm gonna wrap got some strings here that are in my way. And we're going to come around this edge. And this is homespun fabric, and this is also, you know, a craft. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfectly laid out when you're going around this curve, because it's just not possible to do that. So we're going to come up here, and like we did on our original base piece, we're going to cut this off at an angle. I'm going to give myself a little extra. I'm going to bring it around. I'm going to put some glue on the top point there. And then I'm going to bring my corner, my pointy corner down. So I'm going to come around. Tack it down. I want to cut these strings a little bit, I think. I don't know if my phone's going to focus. You know, I got a better phone. Evidently, it's not a better phone. My camera's not better. And if you don't like any strings on there, just clip those off. But this is, you know, this is homespun, so there's that. That's one. I have to do a second one so that because they're a matching pair, and then I'll put them together. I also have some other Christmas stuff. I know it's getting too close to Christmas for Christmas, but I did promise that I would show the DIY on the Santa I did out of 2x2s. Well, it's out of scrap wood, actually. No, oh, here. I got this one almost done. This is just a 2x2 scrap wood. Well, it might be, well, it's probably like a 2x1.5 inches. These are like pieces that we cut off of wood that we cut for Etsy, because we cut a lot of unfinished wood on Etsy. So now I don't glue where I'm wrapping, because it's not necessary. It's going to stay. It's not necessary to glue it. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that, I'm wrapping just above the edge of the last wrap. And then as you get down here, you may have a little bit of bunching, but that's just the way it's just the way it happens. And so you continue to wrap around that curve. And like I said, my fabric curled under, and I'm just going to use that so that this one will have a more finished edge. And I always send pictures for my orders before I ship them out. So, you know, I send it out. If they have an issue, then they can say something, but I send them the pictures of what they are. And then we try to get our orders out as quick as possible, whether it's a cutout order for unfinished wood or it's a finished product. Our finished products, of course, do take a little longer because we make them as we get the orders. So I'm wrapping this. Then I'm going to take this piece right here, tuck it over, and then I will take, there's a few strings I'm going to clip off. And I'm going to tack this down around. Why is he whining? Okay. I have to say the other Yorkie is a male, and he's a whiner. He's about, I don't know, I think he's 8 or 9 months old. I think he's 9 months old now. We got him when he was 7 months old. He likes the food. All right, so I'm going to look at these and I'm going to pick the best ones to face front. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these out like this. And I'm going to lay them together. And I'm going to glue them with one a little taller than the other. So one's going to be just a little higher than the other. I'm going to glue them together. And then I want to make sure that my curly parts are flat. Hold that. Okay. Now I'm going to take a little piece. This is some greenery. It's like I use this on a lot of stuff. It's greenery that I get at Hobby Lobby. It's on a garland. I don't know which one it is. It was like, trying to remember. It was $45, I believe. But then, of course, I don't buy it unless it's the 50% off. But I use it on everything. So I get quite a bit of it in order that I can have enough on hand. Excuse me, I gotta get a drink. Hey, June, I haven't seen you in a while. Sorry, I didn't see your thing. My phone is not telling me. Oh, there it is. Okay, there was something in the way. So, well, thanks for popping in. How is it in, is it North Carolina or South Carolina? I apologize for not remembering. So, I usually try to do things in threes. So, we're going to put a piece of greenery there like that. And then I'm going to take a piece of greenery here and a piece of greenery here. I'm going to put those together like that. Hold them there for a bit because they like to tend to move. All right. Then sorry I didn't say hi to you right away. Oh yeah. So I have an obsession with using cheesecloth. So, but this cheesecloth, so the cheesecloth usually comes wider and I kind of cut it down into strips, but this cheesecloth is just a little wide for me. So I am going to cut it a little bit more. So Tigger and Gigi, actually when we lost Mr. Stubby, Gigi was pretty good, but she's a little mopey, and so we just decided, you know, she needed a friend. Plus, Gigi's very dominant, and she likes, she's pretty verbal. I mean, she's very smart, very good about potty training and all that. She's real good on that. But she needed somebody. So, and it was Matt's turn for a dog. And so he picked out Tigger, who is another Yorkie. He is a CKC registered Yorkie. Canadian Kennel Club Yorkie. So, and she's silver and he is black and got a blue coloring on his head. He's got some sable around his feet and stuff. He's got a different temperament than she does. He's a little more whiny. So now I'm going to take my cheesecloth and I will put the two ends and meet them in the middle. So I'm making kind of like a bow. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue that. And the reason why I do that is because if I want to do it this way versus making a bow and with the cheesecloth and tying it on, it gets kind of bulky. So this way I just take the two pieces, and then I'm going to kind of squish it together in the middle so it kind of has that bow look. But because this is, you know, you're not going to see much of this anyway, but it is there. So so I'm going to put that here. So I took a little piece of this cheesecloth and I did it like that, and then I glued it onto where my greenery was, and then I took that bow and I put it together and I put it in the middle. All right. So now we've got some pieces to add before we put on our bow. I've got this wired paper floral ribbon, they call it. And I really need a dowel or a pencil. So we had our kids over for early Christmas because our middle son came back, and for an early Christmas, and so I had to clean off my table. So now I can't find anything. Ah, here's a dowel. So I'm going to take a dowel. Just going to wrap it. And I wrap quite a few times. Just because I want to make sure I have enough. And this is wired. This I got at Hobby Lobby, but you could get stuff off Amazon too. So I've got curlicues. So I need 4 of those for each set of these candy canes. And I'm making 2 sets. I'm making one with this checker, and I'm making one with the pinstripe, the ticking. I love the ticking. The nice thing about that Jubilee Fabrics is they have ticking in other colors, and I have been looking for a green ticking, and they have one. It's out of stock, but they have one, so I will probably order some pieces from them. So I put 4 of these on each one. This is like a 1/4-inch dowel. You can do a thicker one or a thinner one. It's up to you. You know, it's your own personal preference. You can wrap as many or as little times around that as you want. I will probably end up cutting some of this off, but this just gives me the versatility of being able to, you know, use what I want. And I know these are not wire cutters. These are called utility snips. I have used them for decades. I use them for so many things. My husband is like, why do you use those? Why don't you just use wire clippers? Well, I don't know. Because they were cheap. They were like $3 or $4 when I bought them. Plus, they were yellow handled and they're big, so I know where they are. I can find them easy. Okay, I'm just going to do the rest of these, the other ones I need. I'm kind of surprised. I'm still selling Christmas stuff on Etsy. I sold a couple. The fabric trees have been my best seller for the finished products on Etsy. And they've been selling well at the shows too. I can't tell you how many of those I've sold this year. But they have been really good. These twin candy canes have been good. I had these pieces on Etsy for a year and I didn't sell them, but all of a sudden this year I am selling these pieces. All right, so I got 2 for that other one. Here's the other thing I'm going to do, and I'm just going to use these. These I get at Hobby Lobby, 99 cents. On their half price. When they're half price, they're 99 cents. You can't go wrong with those. They're pretty. They're frosty. Where is that? Frosty. Why is it so blurry? Why is it blurry? They're frosty. So I use them a lot. Okay, so I'm going to put I'm going to take these because I want to put these underneath first. I want them to sit because I want to put another bow on top. So I want them to sit like kind of like that. So I'm going to put them in here because it's easier for me to do it in here now than it is for me to try to put them in after I put the other stuff on. So I'm putting one on each side on top and one on each side on the bottom. And I'm kind of sliding them right underneath here. And then put the glue in there, and then I can kind of press down with my cheesecloth to kind of hold it in place a little more. So that kind of helps to hold it. So there's those two. And then I will do this one is just a little bit big. I'll do this end. Then this one I will put underneath so that it has, you know, a decent enough hold there. Then I'm pushing it down on that cheesecloth. Oh, thanks, June. Yeah, I'm going to try to show some more stuff that we're doing because I didn't get a chance to do too much this year. We garden, and I have my Texas cottage permit license thingy for pickled okra and jalapeno jelly. So when we have our garden, we've been doing and selling that. And we sell a lot of okra because it's very big down here, of course. All right, so there's two down here and two up here. I don't know why my thing is blurry. I'm not sure why why is it blurry? I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I may go and start using my tablet. Okay. So the next step is I'm gonna make two bows, one for each one. I'm gonna set them aside. Now you could use whatever you want to. I have used this twine. I've used this 2-ply jute. We use that a lot, but this is a neutral beige and white twine. And that's what's pictured in my Etsy for these. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to do double bow. And all I do is just loop and loop. And I cut that off. And then I cut another piece of string. And I tie it up like that. So I have 4 strings hanging down. So that gives me more texture. Alright, I gotta figure out why that bow's like that. I don't want that one loop. Okay. All right. There's that. I'm going to do 2 of those. Ah, crap. I forgot my lace. Do I have any lace in here? Please. So we're just going to do this. So yeah, so the summertime, we do a lot with our pickled okra, and we do some canning too because some freezing. Okay, so, oh, I do have some lace. Yoo-hoo! Excellent. Oh. This will actually work. So now what I did when I originally designed these is I used a little bit of burlap in the bow that I made. So it gives it a little bit of that earthy or organicness to the candy canes. And we like that, so that's good. So I guess that's the only piece I will just use. So I got 2 of those bows. I will have a piece of burlap, a piece of lace, and I have a piece of this muslin fabric. This is a little wide, so I'm going to rip a smaller piece. I like ripping. It's so much quicker and easier than cutting. Okay. I'm going to take a piece of this, and so many strings. And cut the selvage edge off. And I'm going to cut this, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches. It might be a little big because we'll go ahead and we can trim it back. So I'm going to just steal this piece of lace out of here. Well, maybe, yeah, there we go. All right, so all I do for this ribbon, this is crappy. That's a crappy piece. I guess we won't be using that. Okay, there, that's a better piece. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to take the lint brush to this, is I'll take my burlap is going to be on the bottom, my muslin's going to be in the middle, and my lace is going to be on top. It's just a simple little rag bow. I'm going to use the same twine that I used on the other. Tie it. And we can always cut it off. So I don't mind having it be a little long because we can always cut it off. And I'll take another one here because this is for my second one when we do the ticking. And I tie that off. That way I have these. We won't do the ticking ones. I won't do those on camera because I'm just going to show you how to do this one. They're all the same. It's just, you know, but I have them ready. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, and so like this is in 4, so some people go, oh, you shouldn't do it in 4. So I understand that, but I was just like wanting it balanced. So then I'm going to take this bow that we just made, I'm going to trim it up a little. And then I'm going to stick it in the middle of that other bow, or cheesecloth bow. So now my cheesecloth, I either do a tea stained, and I will, like, I have a big pot. I buy the bags that are the family pack, you know, where you're making a gallon of tea, you throw a bag in, whatever it is. And I boil the water, and then I throw them in there. And sometimes I will do a coffee, instant coffee in there, maybe with some vanilla and maybe a little bit of, I don't know, some other spices sometimes. And I'll do that. Okay. So now I'm going to take my other bow that I made. Make sure I have it the right side up, because there is a right and wrong side to these, kind of. I'm going to stick that in the middle of the other bow. So it's kind of layered. And now I have 6 of these tails hanging down, and that's fine. And you might think it's oh, I'm excited I caught you live, but probably have to watch it. Yes, I'm doing the, and I think you've seen this before, but you know Facebook deleted my live, Sue. So these are the double candy canes. I'm still getting orders on Etsy for the finished Christmas stuff. I just did a couple more trees. I've been getting quite a bit of tree orders. And these candy canes. The thing about Etsy is when you start getting orders on things, then Etsy algorithm says, oh, people like that. And so then they show them to more and more people. So that's the 2 bows together. Now we're going to do our final embellishments, which is the beads. I also do, I just had them here. You know, my table got all cleaned off because we had family last week, and I can't find anything. I tried to keep it all together because otherwise it's just too hard for me to find it all. You know, I had those bells. I know I did because I made sure to bring them in. There's 2. There it is. There's 3. So I have to make 2 of these. I'm making one with the stripe, and then I have to make one with ticking. And they're pairs, of course. So now I'm going to take my beads. I'm going to clip off some of that. And shoot, can't remember what I did on the... I always have to pull out the picture because I can't always remember. You know what? Oh, I know how I did it. Okay, so I do this in the middle. I do this bead in the middle. And I do it up there because we're going to put a button in the middle, so we have to have room for that button. And then I will do one on each side, so it's kind of balanced. I'm going to just put some glue on that wire. I'm going to try to do, I was going to do the Santa today, but I got that order in, and so I decided, well, I'll just do this. And then I'm going to try to save my videos to YouTube and open up a YouTube channel. Okay. Now I got a medium-sized button. I gotta find that. There's one, there's 2. And as any of you that have been with me for a little while, you know that I make my own dark wax. Thanks, Sue. And so the gal that makes the shampoo bars that I buy, she sends the shampoo bars in these cute little tins. Well, I can't throw them away because, you know, they're tin and they're cute. And so I use them for storing something. So this is my dark wax. And I make it with turtle car wax, which is pretty reasonably cheap. I mean, it's like maybe $7. Yeah, I think it's because I didn't have enough storage for data, but they're building data stations all over Texas. It's like crazy how many data, whatever they're called, are coming up. They're just building. There's one just that's built. We live in Whitney, by Lake Whitney, and there's one going up on 56, which is over there by the dam, and it is kind of southish of Laguna Park, which is on the other side of the bridge, which is maybe 10 miles from me. And there's a big data center going up there. So, all right. So this is, like I said, this is my dark wax that I make out of, I make this out of turtle wax, which is a soft wax. It is green. And then I put in, burnt umber and nutmeg, and I mix it, and then I test it until I get the color I want from my dark wax. I had dark wax I ordered online. I did not like it. It was too dark. It was too, I can't tell you exactly what it was for me. I didn't like it. So I make my own. I store it in these cute little tins that I get from Sweet Suds Soap Company. Sweet Suds, yeah. Sweet Suds Soap Company. She has the best shampoo bars. That's what we use. We love them. They're great for our hair. I went to get my hair cut a couple months ago, and the woman said, "Your hair is so healthy." And I'm like, well, thanks. You know, other than the gray I'm getting. So anyway, dark wax. So these I got from Walmart. They were $2.97. I don't know if they still have them or not. I love them because there's this one and then there's a round one, and they're big. And these round brushes, these brushes like this used to cost like $15 back when I was doing furniture like 15 years ago. So anyway, I take it, wipe it off on my paper towel because I don't want very much of this because I don't want to look like I globbed it on my buttons. And then I just do a little light antiquing around the edge of my button. Maybe do a little bit in the middle. And I know you can't see it. I know my things are blurry. I'm going to have to figure it out. Anyway, that's one button. I have to do 2 of these, but I'm only going to show you one. All right, there's 2 buttons. Put my lid back on. I mean, these tins are great, and this wax, I use it all the time. And like I said, it's very economical because I just get the Walmart burnt umber and nutmeg brown and mix it in there until I get what I want. All right, so I gotta see where I'm gonna put my bells. So my bells, I'm just gonna glue on. The nice thing about these bells is they're not very big. I get these off of Amazon. And there's even some smaller ones I have around here somewhere. Now that the Christmas season is over, and I do have to make some jalapeno jelly because I am out. So I have the stuff to do that because I don't have any more. But now that the Christmas season is over, I will be reorganizing some of my stuff because I just have so much crap that I can't find. All right, and then I'm going to put my button in the middle. And there you go. And it's all blurry. I might move these up a little. I think they're just too far down. I wish you guys could smell the roast that we have in the crock pot. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. Okay, I think I like that better. There we are. That's one. So I'm going to try to do a few more YouTube videos over the next, few weeks for the Christmas stuff. As I said, I've got this one that's I started when we were at the doing the craft show. I couldn't get it done. I sold out of these at the show. But I have this, but I'm going to show how I do this. This is only like a 1x2. You could do a 1x2 or, or it could be, I don't know, it might be 2 inches wide. I'm not for sure. It's the end cuts off of stuff that we, off the stuff that we cut down when we rip down wood for certain things. So it's just fabric, and I did some with red too. It's just fabric on the bottom, fabric on the top. So the only thing I paint is the face. And I don't paint the sides or anything like that because I put the yarn when you do for the beard, I put it all around so it's hair. And so I am going to do a video on this. You could do this as a snowman, do the fabric hat. You could do a penguin. I am going to try to mess around with seeing how I can do a bunny. I might have to cut it shorter and do like a hat kind of thing on it, like a top hat and then ears off the front. But I'm going to try to do this one next. So, yeah, for the bunny, oh, Uncle Sam. Because this is the 250th anniversary, 2026 of the United States of America. I will be doing these for Uncle Sam. That will be beautiful. I do have some navy ticking, but I'm also going to check to see, because I have had a hard time finding navy blue background with white or cream stars. I found navy blue with gold stars at Hobby Lobby, and you used to see navy blue and star fabric all the time. Now I can't get it at Walmart. If I did find any, it was like really, really expensive online because it's a third-party shipper. But I haven't looked. I did not look at that Jubilee, but I'm pretty sure they probably will have it. I might check fabrics.com too. I might check Michael's because Michael's did buy out Joann's, but I'm not sure what they have for fabric. So, but Uncle Sam's, we'll be doing some stuff. I also have some ideas. Our candle sets that we did, the smaller candle sets that were for the tabletop, those sold really well at our shows. And so I was really pleased with that. And they sold last year really good too. And we used to make those 10 or 12 years ago. We made them and sold them. Well, we made them and sold them individually, and then they could mix and match. We sold those like crazy. Well, my thoughts are I want to decoupage 3 different, or a design. So on Etsy, there's some people that have these tumbler designs, and they have the 3 different sections that you sublimate on your tumblers. Well, I want to take those sections with the Constitution background and a flag and whatever, and do them on 3 same size pieces of wood that I have my candles on, but have them be firecrackers. So I'm going to mess with that idea. I'm kind of excited about that one. We'll see if it goes or not. I don't know if it will or not. We'll see. I'll post them when I get them done. But that's about it for now. I'm going to try to, like I said, do more lives and try to get my YouTube channel up and going, because I know that that's probably someplace I could keep my videos. I did notice that the ones that I did a video and didn't do it as a live and posted are still underneath my video tab. So I can do it without doing a live and post the video. But I think I'm going to try to save these and post them to my YouTube. I just have to sit down and figure out how to do it, because I've never really gotten into that. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, what did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is it. I also need to figure out why my camera is fuzzy or not focusing. Like I said, I have to do I have to do a ticking pair but I'll have to make those because these don't match. So, but I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. If I don't get on here before then, I am going to try to. But and I hope you guys have a good weekend coming up because holy cow, it's already the weekend. Can't believe it. All right, you guys take care. Appreciate you all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.